Welcome everybody to another episode of So Random and Weird. I'm Sarah, your host for today.
And I'm Sheena.
So how are you doing, girl? What's going on?
It's spring.
I know. I
There's
know.
there's a bird. I thought it was gone. No, it's back. And it makes this horrid noise. Absolutely horrible noise. I don't and
Well,
I can't figure out what it is because it sounds like an alarm,
oh my
but
god, that's horrible.
it's just this horrible screeching.
That's great.
And it's
Well,
like
I don't
right
know.
outside my window
Of course, of course. At like early times in the morning. Like, is it
all
singing
day.
to you? Oh, good. So you can wake up to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely. I don't know if you're getting the lovely weather that we're getting over here in the East Coast, but oh my god, I mean, it goes from, like, 30 some degrees to, like, 80. It's like it was 80 outside today. It was like, it was almost 80, and, like, in the morning, it was cool. So, I mean, like, I had, like, the heat on, you know, I'm thinking, "Oh, it's chilly this morning," and then by, like, lunchtime, we were sweating. I'm like, "What is this?" I mean, no wonder I'm sick and I have this cold thing because, I mean, you go from, like, this roller coaster of weather from, like, freezing to, like, sweating weather. It's horrible,
Well, the one thing
horrible.
good about here is where I am in the Salem areas, it's not bad. I mean, this whole entire winter, I think the lowest it got was 32 degrees, maybe 30.
Oh, shut up.
And
Really? 30, 32
yeah.
degrees.
And then, like, it's been constantly, like, 48, and then last week it was, like, in the 60s. We did almost hit 70, and then it rained, and so then, like, yesterday it was, like, 48, but it wasn't bad, and then by, like, the afternoon, it was probably about 55.
See, that's
So
nice, though. That's nice, it's consistent. It's not going from, like, frost. Like, literally, I walked out the door one time, like, one day, and I'm like, "Okay." We're, like, in the end of March here, middle and end of March, and there's, like, frost now again outside when there hadn't been, like, when, people were, like, out, like, planting crap and stuff. I'm like, "What is going on?" And then, like I said, now today it was, like, almost 80. It was hot. It was hot. We did not need, jackets or anything. Yeah, just, oh, I just want, like, consistency. That's it, just consistency. It doesn't have to be, like, in the 60s or so. Just, like, just stable weather. Eh, but
yeah.
climate, change is a myth, so, don't worry about that one. I'm being sarcastic, by the way.
I know.
Anyway, so it did give me time though to think that since I had a free space, it did give me time to think about what I wanted to do. Um, because for today's episode, because if it's cold outside, I'm sure as heck not going out in cold weather. So, being a gal in her early 40s, um, well, what am I? 40, 41, 42? I don't know how old I am anymore. I honestly, I found that I'm looking back a whole lot more in my life. Becoming more nostalgic. I think we talked about this last episode too. Like, I'm kind of not Facebook stalking, but like checking out, profiles from like former classmates and stuff like that. Just seeing, where people are and how things are going in their life, what they're doing. Because in reality, you know, I I I've lived more years than I probably have left, which is depressing when you think
We're
about it.
halfway there. It's
I
even.
hope. I'd love to be in my 80s, but who knows? But I look back a lot. And I started kind of doing that more recently, and I thought, "You know what? I wanna talk about toys from the '80s. Fun things. Fun things." Just like that nostalgic, like you see, like, I can't help it, like, there's, a toy store here in E-Town that sells vintage toys, like toys from our era, Zennial toys, and you walk in there and it's, like, literally like you're walking back through time, like you're stepping into a toy store like Toys R Us, or do you remember Spreckers from Ephrata? You probably don't remember Spreckers. It was a
No.
hardware store, but they had a toy store on the 2nd floor. I
Uh-uh.
mean, it was so much oh my gosh, just like walking into a toy store, a legit toy store, because they don't have those nowadays. But walking into a legit toy store back in our time, it was everything. It was everything. It was kids nowadays have no I mean, they see the toy aisle or maybe the
Mhm.
toys, the toy aisles. But I mean, to actually, like, walk into a Toys R Us, that was magical. That was magical. Um,
Especially when it was at the mall.
yeah. And, I just was like, "You know what? I wanna relive toys from the '80s." I thought about including the '90s, but there are actually a lot of good toys from the '80s that I found that, when I did my research, and I thought, if I do a toy one again, I'll maybe do one of the '90s. And some of these toys crossed over, but, I wanna start with the '80s because that's when we were little. We played with toys.
See, I don't really remember much. I remember Skip It.
Yes, that's on my list. Skip It. I remember you had a Skip It. I loved your Skip It. That was so much freaking fun. And we can talk about Skip It. The Skip It was that and they have that nowadays too.
Mhm,
You slide it around your ankle and
mhm.
you swing it around like swing your ankle in a circle for those who don't know what Skip It is. And it was like playing like jump rope almost with yourself. It was like solo
Except for
jump
you
rope.
could take out your ankle.
Oh yeah, you know that. You know that. 'Cause you did that, didn't you?
Well, I mean, I had quite a few bruises from
I mean,
it,
I
but
I I I thought you got injured from it once, and at least once.
no, I only got injured playing trying to be sporty.
Okay.
Like, seriously injured, if I did sports, I usually got injured.
And what I loved, it had a meter on it, like how many rotations, right? Like
Mhm.
how many jumps you did. It had that
Yeah.
rotation thing on it, right? That not speedometer, but odometer, whatever it is. Which was really cool, and it was pink. I wasn't a pink fan then, but I'm a pink fan now, so I love it. Well, and of course your new kids' toys, your new kids' boys. Oh my god, I remember those. Anyway, so I'm gonna start off my toys in 1980s with Cabbage Patch Kids.
Ugh.
What was that look? Oh my god, what was that look?
The funny thing
Eye
is, like,
roll.
we just talked about it,
Oh my god, that was funny. Sorry.
but I just, of course, remembering hearing about the hullabaloo about getting the Cabbage Patch. I mean, I have one
Do you?
still. Yeah, I have the one that I was given.
I I I never well, I'll go into that the craze was was a year before I was born. Um, but I the only reason I had one was because I liberated it from my church's lost and found box. I stole from my church's lost and found box. I'll freely admit that. Jesus Christ, I'm going to hell anyway, why not? Going to hell. But, no, and I felt it was cute. I honestly thought they were kinda funky looking, to be honest. But, I mean, this one was really funky because it looked like it had the measles. It had, like, spots all over it. Spots that were, like it was part of, like, the contour of the skin. It was not, like, people didn't draw on it or whatever. It looked like it had the measles or something. I felt sorry for it. It's in this box. It's all alone, has the measles, it's going through hell. I mean,
Was it a garbage
I was in a
patch?
church, I saved it, okay? I saved it, I no, I just stole it, that's all. But anyway, so Cabbage Patch Kids, for those who may be so young, who do not know what Cabbage Patch Kids are, they were these homely little dolls. They had, hard heads and soft bodies, but each came with, like, a unique name and a birth certificate. They had adoption papers. The best thing, though, about these dolls was that no 2 Cabbage Patch dolls were exactly the same, which made each one special. Um,
Mhm.
so you never got the same 2 people never got the same doll, which was really cool. The most interesting thing, though, about Cabbage Patch Kids was they exploded in 1983, and I fondly call this the Great Cabbage Patch Kids Stampede of '83.
Yep,
There was a
that's why I
craze.
got one.
There was a craze in
November.
1983 for Cabbage Patch Kids that led to near riots, stampedes, and violence in US stores.
Yep.
So basically, the stores only received a few hundred dolls at a time while thousands of customers sought them. So, I mean, think of like your craziest Black Friday, and that's what this was like in 1983. Shoppers fought over dolls in stores like Sears, J.C. Penney's, Ward's, Macy's. There was one incident where there were 1,000 people at a department store that were handled by a manager using a baseball bat to maintain order. I mean, these people were fucking nuts for Cabbage Patch dolls, for God's sakes. So it's not clear why there was a craze for these things. There was actually a Time article that featured a theory from a doctor that said that most children between the ages of 6 and 12 fantasized that they were really adopted, which made it appealing to experience the adoption fantasy through the dolls, which come with certificates and adoption papers.
Maybe you have to think about why children wanted to be adopted.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly thought because I mean, well, you know my parents, black hair, brown eyes. At the time, when I was born, I had blonde hair. It gradually got darker and darker, but I still have brown hair. I don't have black. I have brown hair. I have blue green eyes. Like I do not look like my parents at all. I mean, in my mind. And so I honestly questioned, is my mom telling me the truth? Am I really adopted? Am I really born, like her natural, or am I adopted? My mom would always say, "Oh, I have this C-section scar to prove it." And I'm like, "Okay, that proves nothing to me. That proves nothing to me." Oh. But I think every kid maybe questions that, or at least they used to, I feel like.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have the same hair color as both my parents.
Well, yeah. You kinda look like your mom. Sorry. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I won't say okay, moving on. Sorry, didn't mean to insult. Anyway, so, these riots, they predated the whole, like, obviously, the Tickle Me Elmo, the Furby, riot of '98,
Ugh.
Tickle Me Elmo in '96. Interestingly enough, though, it also inspired the plot for the 1996 Christmas movie, Jingle All the Way.
Mhm.
That was based on the Cabbage Patch Kids craze, the frenzy for Cabbage Patch Kids. Uh, but yeah, I've never really gotten to the craze, but I did have one. Don't know what happened to it. I
I
think
still have
I
it.
threw it away
It's
because it got
in
too
my memory box.
Next toy, Transformers. I mean,
Mhm.
I was never, that I in my mind, that was more of a tomboyish, I mean, they were more tomboyish. I mean, I was not very much into, like, the whole tomboy thing.
I watched the cartoon.
Oh, you watched the cartoon? Really?
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was, like, into the Disney. I don't wanna say girly. I don't wanna use terms like that to define what I did, but I mean, um
Girl, you had a canopy bed.
I did, I did. You know what? I did have pink back then.
Yeah.
I did have pink. It wasn't all pink, though, but I
No, it
wanted
was
the
just
pink
your bed.
canopy. I wanted the pink canopy.
I remember
Um,
that because even though I wasn't the
Pink floral
girliest girl,
curtains. Oh my god.
I at least wanted the pink. Well, I didn't want the pink, but I would at least wanted the canopy bed.
I
I had a
wanted
water
the
bed
canopy bed.
instead.
I kinda want a canopy bed again. I don't know why. It's kinda nice, like, having something, like, over. It was very elegant looking. I don't know, it flowed. But yeah, sorry, Transformers. Oh, and of course, we have those today. I mean, the '80s to today, when we have movies now, the Transformer movies that are huge. But, they could change from cars and trucks into robots, and they created, like, endless amounts of play possibilities. Back then, each Transformer character had its own personality and backstory, so kids could create their own adventures and, these epic battles between, like, the Autobots and the Decepticons. And then, of course, like you said, there was, TV shows and comic series and then the movies. So, I mean, Transformers have really never gone away. Um, while we don't really see Cabbage Patch Kids, I don't think anymore, um, not
No.
a whole lot. We still see Transformers like crazy. And of course, Rubik's Cubes. I I will admit I cheated on these. I peeled off the stickers, and I put them all together, so all the yellows were together, all the whites were down, like, "Nope, I can't do it. This is how I'm doing it. Nope, I cheated." 'Cause at that point in time, they were stickers.
Mhm.
They were stickers
Yeah,
on
they
the
were.
cubes. But, yeah, I mean, obviously, a friend of mine has a system. He knows how to work them, and he does them really well. So I hate him, of course, for that because I can't figure them out, but he's figured them out. But yeah, no, I Rubik's cubes. My son Tyrion loves them. He can't get them either, so I'm sad if he has my math brain. I don't know, but no one should have my math brain.
I
But
have the same math brain. We share the same math
we do,
brain.
and that's why we get along so well. We get along so well because we have the same challenges. But so yeah, so for those who may not know Rubik's cubes or is familiar with them, they challenged players to match colors on each side. It became wildly popular. Um, they inspired like competitions and speed solving events. You know, my husband watches speed events on YouTube, like on people who are timed on solving Rubik's cubes, and it's a number and multiple Rubik's cubes at a time. For God's sakes, I mean, I'm like, how long did it take these people to work these, to practice this and to oh my god, it blows my mind to be honest with you. Uh, but I mean, this has, inspired people all over the world, um, to gather and to watch these competitions to see who can solve these Rubik cubes the fastest. It's absolutely amazing. And then, I did, My Little
Yes,
Pony. Love My
I
Little
love
Pony.
them. Yes.
And once
My
again,
Little Pony.
My Little Pony. I was actually just singing the song, 'cause I remembered the song from, the show, and, I was like, "Oh my god," like, I haven't seen it in how long, but the theme song just, like, came to my head just like that.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what this is about, that as soon as you say it, as soon as you hear it, it's just like it's automatic, you know? It's like, "Oh my god," like, so many memories, like, the floodgates just open. Yeah, so, and there once again, we're talking about something that is still around today.
Yes. I mean, it went
Mm.
away for a little while.
It did. It did go away for a little bit, um, but it is back, apparently, and I think on Netflix. Um, but and for those who may not know My Little Pony, um, they were known for their bright colors. The toys had brushable manes and tails. Each
And they smelled
pony
like
had yes,
rubber
they were scented. They were scented, weren't they?
somewhere. Yeah.
Some were. I had a peachy one, I think with blue mane and blue tail. It was weird. Liked her. It was pretty. And each pony had its own backstory, its own personality, its own name. They each had its own like its own unique symbol located on their flanks, like on the right butt cheek, technically, I guess. They were known as cutie marks. I never
Yep.
knew that. I was like today years old when I found that out. I didn't know that they had a name, cutie mark.
I remember that.
Did you? I had no idea. When I was finishing up my research, I was like, "Oh, cutie marks." So, and like I said, they expanded. I mean, they did TV series, movies, and like I said, they're still around even today. So, and then of course you got He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Yes. You know how many people thought I was She-Ra?
Yes, I know. I remember you telling me that people thought you were She-Ra. I'm so sorry for that, by the way.
That's okay. I mean, I can't be mad. She is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't a big He-Man fan, but when I saw the character She-Ra, I was like, oh, well." She's good looking. I mean, she's, powerful.
I mean,
But,
I have hair.
so He-Man, the figures, the characters were known for their, muscle-bound physiques. And let's not forget the bowl haircuts.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. He-Man is supposed to be this all-powerful guy, and yet it looks like his mom fucking cuts his hair. Like, what is going on with it? Can we not I mean,
By the
I don't
bowl
know.
of Grayskull.
I don't know who designed He-Man or who drew him or whatever, I don't know, but the haircut has
Yeah.
gotta change. The haircut's
Well, the
gotta
haircut
go.
was, like,
We're
totally
not
accept
we're not doing the bowl thing. No, we're not Amish. Um, but yeah, and each figure, of course, had, they came with, their own unique weapons and accessories. So the kids can mix and match characters and weapons and accessories, and it just added so much, creativity to the playtime. And of course, that it led the cat. They had like play sets, and they
and
had
Thor.
skull, yeah, and then the cat. I mean, it was huge. The He Man craze was really huge back then. And then, like I said, they had these TV shows and, cartoons and things. So, I mean, it was.
Yep. I watched the cartoon.
Did you?
Did, of course I did.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever knew that. What
Yeah.
made you watch what made you watch it? Was it the bowl
I don't know.
haircuts? Was it the bowls?
I don't know. I mean, I preferred a lot more of, like, the boy things
Okay.
because if you don't remember, I even though I had Barbies, I never really, like, played Barbies. I'd dress
Well,
them
you
up.
weren't allowed to play
Yes,
with
I
some of your
was.
Barbies.
Well, Stephanie had collector ones.
Oh, were they Stephanie's collector?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had Barbies to
I
play
know
with.
you played with some of them because I remember you had, like, the townhouse and things like that, didn't you?
Yeah. But the thing is I never the only thing I did was I would smash them together and have sex, and then I would just dress them.
You smash them together to have sex? That's great. Oh my god, that's
I
great.
just I don't know, I even though I am, like, super creative and, like, I'm writing a couple of books and stuff like that, I could never, like, make them play just
Yeah.
play, like, stories and stuff because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, this is just stupid."
Well, I mean, I had Barbies, and Barbies, were a big part of, my childhood as well because, I mean, Des Sisney, she used to brag that she had 143 Barbie dolls, which my dad was always like, "Oh," but when I was in her playroom, I swear to God, I think she had 143 Barbie dolls. I mean, Barbies were huge as well during the '80s. Now, they weren't invented in the '80s, but, Barbies were definitely a huge, part of my life too because I did have some of the cars I love my camping van, my pink Barbie van. My dad got me the Ferrari and the '57 Chevy, and the trunk opened. So, I mean, I had some really good times with Barbies too, and I wanted there was one Barbie I really wanted, I think it was Happy Birthday Barbie. Remember it, it was Happy Birthday Barbie because she had this beautiful, like, pink, once again, pink dress. I always used to think I was never a pink person, but maybe I was. Anyway,
Well, and
I wanted her so badly, and you got her, and I hated you. Or Steph had her. Steph had her. One of you guys had her.
Steph probably had it because that sounds like one that you would put up in
Yeah,
a way. Um,
and I
well, you remember the ones where you could, like, color their hair and then it would wash
yeah,
out? Gee, I wonder what I liked doing,
yeah,
giving my doll pink and blue hair. Gee,
yeah, yeah. Which you do to your own hair now.
getting my
I was gonna say your hair is always a festive color, but I like it. It's self-expression.
yes, definitely.
I like it.
But yeah, no, I as much as I was like, "Oh, Barbies!" I just never
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, even though they were big in the '80s, they weren't like I said, I kinda did things that were, like, that came about in the '80s. I didn't include Barbie on my list, but Barbies were definitely part of my childhood growing up. Um, and I mean, I wasn't obsessed with them like some people were, like Des, but I mean, I did like them. I did have fun with them, and yes, I mushed mine together too for sex because poor Ken. Poor Ken. I mean, his package was
Good thing he didn't have a
so yeah. He literally had nothing there. I mean, Barbie. You had to feel some pity for Barbie, but the Barbie world. What can I say?
Yep.
Moving on. So my next toy craze that came about was the Care Bears.
Good Luck Bear is my favorite.
Love the Care Bears. I loved the brown one. Was that Tenderheart? The brown one? No.
Why do I wanna say it Tenderheart is the
Was he the lion?
yeah.
Was that the cousin, the Care cousins? I don't know. It's been a while, but I love the Care Bears. I mean, my mom and I used to love my my mom and I
Nope,
used to
Tenderheart
love.
is the brown one with the heart.
Yes, yes, that's Tenderheart. I love Tenderheart. He was always to me like the main bear. He was like the main bear, the bear in charge. And I'll go into let me go into a little history here. So, for those of you who may not know about Care Bears, each bear had a special symbol on its belly that represented its personality and role. And the symbols were known as belly badges. Once again, didn't know they had a name. I just thought they were like the little symbols on their cute little furry bellies. Oh, they were belly badges. They help spread messages of love and friendship among kids. Back yes, the Care Bear stare. So, they starred in, TV shows, cartoons, movies that taught, valuable life lessons. And then what I was just reminded that together they would all, like, band together, remember, and do the Care Bear stare, and that just kind of, like I loved it. I mean, it was coming together as a team to help others. I mean, the messages from this from the cartoons, from the shows, from the it was so powerful and so strong. My friend Janice, she loved Good Luck Bear, and Cheer
Good
Bear.
Luck Bear and Grumpy Bear and
Well,
Bedtime.
my mom loved Grumpy Bear. My mom was like, "Oh, that's me." She's like, "I can." She loved him and Eeyore. What does that say about my mom? Grumpy Bear and Eeyore. And
Oh,
Grumpy.
I loved Eeyore and Tigger. I loved Eeyore and Tigger. What does that say about me?
She loved Grumpy from the dwarves as well. I'm like, "Mom, you like the manic depressive people? Like, what the" "Thanks for noticing me." I mean, my god, how depressing. Jesus, mom. Anyway, but my friend Janice loved the Good Luck Bear and Cheer Bear because she was always so happy, and I remember she had the 2 stuffed animals, like 2 stuffed Care Bears. And she for the longest time, she would not go anywhere without her Good Luck Care Bear. And I remember she was bullied pretty badly in school, and, like, people would, like, take her Care Bear and stuff from her, and I really felt badly for her, but I remember for the longest time, she had those 2 Care Bears. And I love their movies. Oh my god, their movies. I digress, I'm sorry. So the Care Bears lived in Care which was up in the clouds. So I don't know, I mean it was like a special land, but I mean, it wasn't heaven, but it was, like, up in the clouds. They drove, like, cloud cars and stuff. It was so cool. And, like I said, I mean, they really just taught about caring and how to be caring, how to be compassionate, how to, be kind to others and teamwork, and it was a really great message. And, I mean, the Care Bears are even around today because, I mean, my son got Care Bear figurines that he loves, that he still has, but, you didn't hear it from me. He's 13.
Hey, I still have I'm pretty sure I have a little Good Luck Bear somewhere.
Yeah. Well, we don't care about that stuff anymore,
Mhm.
we're
Yeah.
confident in ourselves, you know? Tyrion is like, he's 13, he's like, "Mom,
Yeah.
tell me."
Everybody cares about everything.
Yeah, it's like, "Don't tell." So, yeah, so then, moving on from Care Bears, Light Bright. I don't know, you had Light Bright, didn't you?
Mhm. Was my sister's, but I loved it.
I was so deprived, I did not have a Light Bright, but, for those who may not know what a light bright is, was basically it let kids create, like, these glowing pictures with colorful pegs. So it was like this light box that you could it was a toy that and then you could put, like, patterns over the light, or, like, you could design your own patterns. You could follow the templates that were supplied with the system. But, it encouraged creativity, it encouraged kids to be creative and to make, like, these beautiful, light, unique pieces of art. And they were also used as night lights. I mean, you created a picture with these colorful pegs. There we go. And, you could use it as a nightlight, which is really cool.
Speaking of nightlights, glowworms.
Yes,
I
yes.
had a glowworm.
I that is further on my list. I did, I think, have a glowworm, but I don't know what happened to it. I was really young
I
with that. I was really young with that. So, and then we go to G.I. Joe. Speaking of Barbies, you can't talk about Barbie without talking about G.I. Joe because for some reason they are intermingled.
even though there's Ken,
Um, Barbie wanted more, so she went with G.I. Joe. I get it, you know,
still the
military.
Ken doll effect.
Yeah, yep, just the mil just that muscles, those military muscles, yep.
And,
But,
if it's the '80s, it's got, like, the jar head, like, flat top,
the jarhead, yeah, with
square head.
the Arnold Schwarzenegger, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, um, but no, so GI Joes, they're known for their detailed uniforms and accessories. Each figure came with a unique backstory and special skills, adding depth to the play, so kids could create their own teams and missions. There were also, of course, tons of play sets, vehicles, allowing for more creativity. Of course, there were shows, movies, as well throughout the years for GI Joe. So GI Joe has lived on into the 2000s. But, yeah, he was definitely very popular back in the 1980s. So, and then one of my regrets that I never had, Teddy Ruxpin. I never had him. I
I
always
never
wanted
had
one.
one.
You
I
never
knew
had
some
one?
people that had one. No, I didn't have one.
Yeah, that's right, you didn't have one. I I I don't know if anyone like, my friend Janice didn't have him. Like, I don't know of anyone who did, like, personally. I know of people now who are like, "Oh, I had Teddy Ruxpin when I was like, "Oh, I hate." But
You were rich.
exactly. It's like, fuck you people, it's just no. Um, so Teddy Ruxpin was a talking bear that told stories to kids, but he was so much more. His eyes and mouth moved when he, sang his songs and brought his tales to life. It was so no, for technology back then, that was so cool. Okay, that was so cool. To see
Had
like
tapes
this
in them.
yeah, to see like this movement and to it was like, "Oh wow," like I have it. This is, because we didn't have the technology that we have nowadays. So kids can insert different stories into Teddy Ruxpin and he would narrate them. And he was more like a friend than anything, and I think that's why he really related so much to kids is that, because he was an animatronic, type toy, he was very realistic to us. Really? Like seizure almost? You're like seizure? I would think he's possessed. I'd be like, "Oh my god,
Kick it.
that is possessed." Oh my god.
Nothing as possessed as the Barbie the Barbie head that you could do, like, makeup and hair on, or my size Barbie.
Oh, those people that have, like, those, like, life-size dolls, that are like the Chucky dolls in their rooms. Like, my friend Christine, her mom used to collect those dolls that were, like, life-size dolls, and when I would sleep over in her mom's room, and I was fricking surrounded by these god awful life-size dolls, and I'm just like, in my mind's eye, I'm seeing, like, all of a sudden, like, these dolls just, like, turn and, like, have a knife in their hands, like, ready to stab me like Chucky or something, you know? Yeah. So, anyway, once again, got off topic. I'm so sorry. So Nintendo Game Boys. Let's talk about that. You had a
I have
Nintendo
my Nintendo.
system.
I still have it. It
You
still
still have
works.
it.
The only thing is my gun died. So, but yeah, I still have it.
It was never special enough to have anything like that. My parents were older. My mom was 34 when she had me, so they were not into the whole electronics thing, born in the 50s, they didn't care about that crap. But Nintendo Game Boy came out in the 80s, and this was huge. It launched in 89. Um, and it was a portable game system for kids to take with them anywhere they wanted to go. And what was great about this was it had an impressive battery life. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, everything then, the batteries lasted forever.
yeah, yeah.
But
I
that's
mean,
mostly
you
because
could
they were probably using, like, the big, huge, chunky, like, D batteries, you
I
know?
mean, yeah. I mean, you could go on, like, long
Now
yeah,
you use the battery and you're lucky if it lasts a week and you're like,
exactly. Well, I just put the batteries in my thermometer, and once again, it's, like, saying low battery, and I'm like, "Okay, wait a minute. I just put batteries in. What are you talking about? How can you be on low battery already?" But no, so they had a really long battery life, which is really nice. You could take them on extended road trips, and they had a really nice, vast library of games. So, including Tetris, Pokemon. I mean, there were so many different kinds of games. They really pleased a huge variety of consumers.
"Yeah, my cousin had one."
Mike had one too, of course. He had everything though. Oh, one of my favorites, pound puppies.
Yep, I have a pound kitty still.
Yeah, oh my god, yes, you're right, there was also then pound kitties came out too. Forgot about those. But I remember I had pound puppy sheets. I don't know why, I had pound puppy sheets, which they were cute. I don't know if I really wanted, to have pound puppy sheets. And of course there was a show. Anyway, backtracking to go over, pound puppies for those of you who may not know. They were plush dogs that came, with adoption papers. Once again, adoption, huge in this. Making each one feel like a real pet. They were available in a variety of breeds and colors. Each had its own unique look, so that allowed kids to really choose one that best matched their preference. They
Or
were
you
they
got
were
what you got.
but they were really like companions. They were soft and they had soft, cuddly bodies. And then, of course, from the toys came the TV series. There was one in the 80s and then one actually just recently in 2010. It ran for about 2
Yeah,
years.
but it just wasn't the same.
It was not the same. It looked
They're kind of
horrible.
like
Did
yeah,
you s Yeah, I'm like, "What
yeah,
are these?" These are not dogs.
yeah. 'Cause, yeah, I have a pound kitty, but if you know me, I wouldn't have picked an orange tabby. Just orange tabbies aren't my favorite color of cat. So, I wanted a Siamese one, but
You discriminate
I
against the
have
orange tabbies, huh? You discriminate against them.
you know what? I can't share any more brain cells. Notoriously, they only have one, so
I have an orange tabby. He's my baby. I love him. We hold no judgment, though. We hold no judgment. No, I don't know, he and I are really close, but anyway. So, yeah, and then, the Pound Puppies, like I said, then the animated series 2010 was horrible. But it's nice that at least they're kind of still around a little bit for people and kids to get to know them again. And then there was another thing I really wanted, which was Simon, the Simon game.
yeah. Simon freaked me out.
You had that, didn't you? Someone I knew had that, and I tried it, and it was fun, but I didn't get a chance to play with it a whole lot. But it was really it was a memory challenge game, and it allowed the player to watch and repeat flashing lights, um, in the correct order
Yes, and
with
my
each sequence.
perfectionism
With each sequence getting longer and harder each round. So,
yes, and my perfectionism was like, "No, we don't like this." After we screwed up, I was like, "Nope, I'm done."
well, I mean,
Same thing with the Bop It.
I mean, it only had 4 colors, but they lit up in a random sequence each time. And like I said, each round, the sequences got more and more complex. So, I mean, it really did sharpen your memory and concentration. But yes, for those of us who we're perfectionists and we're like, okay, we have to do this right. We had to, it was a little much. Yeah. I mean, looking back, it was a little much. But it did look like a lot of fun though too.
It was fun until I got it wrong, like I said, it was, "Okay, I got this," and then as soon as I was like, "Nope, I'm done."
Yeah. No, I it's just one of those things that I always kinda wished for, like, 'cause I still remember, like, the commercials and thinking, "Wow," like, I seen those commercials in my mind and be like, "Wow, that's so cool," you know? 'Cause, I mean, and I said this before, I mean, technology back then really wasn't great, and so when you have, like, these toys that are technology, that are technological, like the Teddy Ruxpin with his eyes move and his mouth moves, and Simon with the computerized chip, with the memory core. It was cool. It was fascinating because we really weren't used to all that. So, I did wanna talk about Rainbow Bright as
I
well.
loved Rainbow Bright.
I know you loved Rainbow Bright.
I would watch that movie all the time, rewind it all the time.
Do you wanna I mean, do you wanna talk a minute about Rainbow Bright? Because I was not a big fan of Rainbow Bright. And I know, like Starlight, and the talking horse. Does the talking horse have a name?
Yes,
I know Twink.
yeah,
Oh, sorry, I put
there
you on
was
the
also
spot.
the boy. I remember there was the boy and and I had a huge crush on him, and,
Uh-huh.
um, he also had, like, a mechanical horse as well,
Yeah.
and,
I mean, like I
uh,
said, I
the
wasn't a
horse's
huge.
name is Starlight
Oh, so horse's name's Starlight. Okay.
with her
I say
friends,
I
the
like
color kids.
alright. But I like I said, I couldn't really tell you a whole lot about, Rainbow Bright, but she was on my bike because my parents had bought me my first I think it was my first bike or trike, a tricycle, something. Had rainbow no, that was strawberry shortcake, which I think I
I
talked
had
about here as
strawberry
well.
shortcake too.
Yeah.
I had sheets, and I we still have the blanket that my grandmother made. It had strawberry shortcake on there.
I can't forget the little people, Fisher Price little people. I will admit, I was a fan of the Little People Garage. I mean, the little people that they were so awesome. They were, uh, these short, chunky, easy to hold figures that young kids back in the '80s could play with well because they were easy to hold for the little kids. And they came, like, with their own little worlds, like, you could get play sets that there were schools and houses and farms and, like I said, garages. And, the characters, these little people characters represented everyday people, like teachers and farmers and firefighters and things like that. And you could just, play with them and drive cars. They were so much fun. I remember the house that the little people lived in, it was, like, this brown house. The doorbell rang. I thought that was so cool. You could, like, click a little button and, like, the doorbell rang, and, like, in the little people garage. Oh my god. I actually fought people over this toy when I was in daycare. I fought people over this toy. Because it had an elevator. You could put the little stop sign went up, when the car got to when the elevator came down and the little stop you drive the car in, and then you crank up the elevator and, you could, it was so much fun. I mean, it was basic, but it was entertaining. It was enough to keep me entertained. It was enough to let me use my imagination, and I loved it. I mean, nowadays we don't have that. Our kids are on YouTube. They don't have an imagination anymore.
Well, and the same thing goes too is, like, we had the Nintendo. You didn't on a lot of games on Nintendo and Game Boy, if you died, you died.
Yeah, yeah.
There was no save points. So, we are built differently than them when it comes to thinking because it's not like we can just go, "Save."
Yeah. Like, my kid will be like, "Let me get to a safe spot. Let me get to a safe spot." I'm like, "Fuck, it's a game. No, what? No, no, what?" I mean, but it's like, suck it up, you got stuff you gotta do now. Let's suck it up and you die, whatever. Let me get to a save
Okay,
point. I gotta save.
so, did you have popples on your list?
Yes. That is actually I was gonna be mentioning. I have a few other things I was gonna mention here, but I wasn't gonna go into a whole lot of detail because I found a whole lot more. But popples is one of them. I had a popple. Love
Yes,
popples.
I did too. I had a
I
purple
remember.
one.
I remember. And I had a yellow one that was purple and pink. Had like purple and pink hair. I don't have no idea what they were. To this day, I have no idea what the heck a popple is.
I don't know, but I
I don't
agree with it.
remember I don't remember their backstories. If they had a backstory, I have no clue, but I remember my popple, and I love my
Well, they had a
popple.
TV it had a TV show.
They had a cartoon. I remember the cartoon, but I don't remember anything about the cartoon. I don't know. I don't remember, like, their backstory or anything like that. But,
Well, the one thing I can definitely agree with is that if there's a situation I don't wanna be in, I just wanna popple myself away
yeah,
and roll away.
and roll away. Yep. Turn into a ball, roll away. I like it. I like it. So, like I said, yes, I wanna do a few honorable mentions because I know I'm running on time here. Hot Wheels, to this day, huge toy, but that was huge, back in the '80s. It started in the '80s. Um, Speak and Spell, Micro Machines, once again, huge. I know my husband said he collected them like crazy.
Hot Wheels, Hot Wheels.
Yeah, Hot Wheels and Micro Machines. Yeah. Strawberry Shortcake, Etch a Sketch,
Mm,
Viewmaster. Do you remember Viewmaster?
yeah, yeah.
My god, like, to be able to transport back into, like, a wherever, and it's like, "Oh my gosh, you're there." Now we have the VR.
Yeah.
Now we have the VR. We have the Quest VR, but, back then we had the viewfinder. So, the Viewmaster. Like I said, we had Popples, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
Yep.
Turtle power!
Turtle power! Cowabunga, dudes! Michelangelo. Oh my god, I love Mikey. I love
Donatello.
Mikey. You're Donatello? I honestly, when I was younger, Michelangelo was like, because he was like, the party boy. Now I kinda
Yeah.
like Raphael. Angry angst, I don't know. So, yeah, what can I say? My taste changed as I get older. The Snoopy snow cone machine, do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. And then we had the pogo ball. Something that I found that I don't remember personally, but muscle figures, Muscle, and there's, like, periods after each. I don't remember them personally. I mean, they looked like something that might have been more, like, driven towards boys back then. I don't know. Big wheels. Rock'em Sock'em Robots, remember those?
Yeah, yep.
Slinkies. Koosh balls.
Oh my god, I
Koosh
just
balls.
smelt those. I just smelt it. Like, that triggered the smell right in my
It
nose.
did. No, I get you, it did. Well, yeah, and you're right, Slinkies were around for a lot longer, but, they I don't know, made a comeback in the '80s. Koosh balls, yeah, you're right, they had that weird smell to them. God, I remember that now that you said that.
I know, it's almost as like the red dodgeballs.
Yes! Yes!
Those are the 2 things you
They
bring that up,
stank.
the
They
smell.
stank. They stank. Those red dodgeball things, the rubber oh, and they stung. They stung when they hit you. Holy crap. Can you imagine playing dodgeball now in school nowadays? I mean, be like,
Or even
"Oh,
like
someone."
the remember the little, we would sit on them, and it's like the little pedest like if you had a pedestal, but we would sit on them, the 4 with the 4 wheels, and we would play, like, crap soccer, and, like, you would always get your fingers ran over.
Oh, the scooter things?
Yeah.
The wooden scooter things that were, like, really low to the ground? Oh god, I hated those. Oh my god, I hated those. Whoever designed those should be shot. Oh my
I
god.
know, I'm like, how many times did I, like off my
Yes.
fingers.
Yes. Because you're holding on to it and the wheels are right there and you're like playing crab soccer. So you're low to the ground and you're trying to focus on the ball and you're trying to focus on playing and you get run the wheels hit your hands and run over your fingers. Horrible.
Yes.
You know, the shit that we had to go through when we were younger, these kids nowadays know nothing
Soft,
about it.
so soft.
Nothing. I
They're
mean,
soft like pillows.
yes. Yes. I mean, I love my kids, but, like, my son was like, "Yeah, I'm being bullied in school," and I'm like, "Oh, buddy, what's going on? What are they saying?" He's like, "I'm being bullied because I'm too popular." And I was like, I mean, I'm not but I'm not I don't wanna be sound demeaning or
Right,
belittle, what he is experiencing, and that's not what I'm saying here.
right.
But it it did take me a moment to step back and be like, "I'm sorry, you're being bullied." Here, I thought maybe he was because maybe he, should get more showers, maybe his breath stinks. He's not a big kid, like, I was a big kid, so obviously, being a tub of lard, I got made fun of mercilessly. But in my mind, bullying somebody for being too popular is not
Does not
actually
exist.
bullying. It's not actually bullying in my
Do not
mind.
compute. Like, how would that go? Like,
I
"You're
mean,
so popular that you
yeah,
get to do whatever you want."
I'd be like, "Thanks." I
No
mean, in my
kidding. I'm
mind,
like,
bullying is when Steve Eichenlaub puts, "Call Jenny Craig" in your yearbook. To me, that's bullying because that's what he did to me. "Thanks,
yeah,
Steve.
that
By the way, no, I didn't. I didn't call Jenny Craig. Up yours."
well, that or, people are like, "Oh, have you seen Sheena? She should be called Sheena Oh Squash Me."
Jesus. Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
"Just because you can't say my last name."
exactly. Well, sweetheart, no one can really say your last name. I mean, I've known you for how long, and I just learned it now, and I still can't spell it, to be honest. Although I can spell it now because it's right in front of me on the screen. So, ask me to spell it now, and I will. I can. But yeah, no, it's anyway, I'm sorry. I keep going off on these tangents.
That's what
So
this
koosh
show
balls,
is
we did
for.
koosh balls. My personal one of my personal favorites that I had, Magic 8 Ball. Magic 8
Oh,
Ball.
yeah.
Loved, loved, loved my Magic 8 Ball. Oh my god. It was first of all, I love pool, and I love just, the solid colors on the pool table no matter what. I love the solids, I don't know why. So, I was like, "Ooh, a solid," like a pool, and then, of course, the magic, you turn it over, you can ask a question, you turn it over, and boom, it answers you, and it's like, "Wow." It was so cool, I don't know. If I could get one today, I would.
Besides the fact of, like, now knowing what else an 8 ball is, but, like, it always makes me think of Pogs.
What?
Pogs.
Oh my god, yes. Yes, I can see that. They would remind me of that too. Yeah, the other 8 ball reference, yeah, no. But, Pogs were definitely and I collected Pogs. I didn't play them. I had no idea how to play them. I don't know if anyone knew how to play Pogs. I really don't. I don't know if anyone I mean, I had some awesome slammers, I had the Pogs, but I collected them because they were, like, so cool. And I had, like,
Yeah.
Pog cases, like once again, I had a pink Pog case. Well, that's interesting. But
We
no idea how
all
to play
like
the game.
pink in a way. There was just during certain times of our lives, we just were like, "No, I don't like pink at all, ever.
That's
It's a
true.
baby color."
I'll go with that. I'll go with that because I wasn't a pink phase apparently for a while, and then I obviously I wasn't for the longest time, and now I am again.
Well, when Stephanie started liking pink, I was like, "No,
Just because she liked it. You're just like, "Nope,
she's a
going in the
baby.
opposite direction."
She's a baby, so I don't like baby things."
Oh god.
And then I liked purple, and now my sister loves purple, but I like mint blue, mint green, and red.
Jeez. I like how you say blood red.
Well, what other color can I What other name? Deep red? No, that's
Maroon
just not right.
I get it. I never got into this, Garbage Pail Kids.
Mhm.
To me, they were like knockoffs of Cabbage Patch Kids, but
Yeah,
I
and
don't know
rude.
who yeah, I don't know who came first or what, but I never got into Garbage Pail Kids. Of course, we mentioned Skip It, Smurfs, Smurf figures. They were huge in the Smurfs. Still remember, a line from Night Court, it was so fucking funny. The one character is looking for a Halloween costume, and the only thing that's available because it's, like, last minute, the only thing that's available is, like, these Smurf costumes, and, he's like, "What the hell is a Smurf?" And
Mhm.
this one lady says, "Imagine your cat coughed up a hairball that talked." Loved it. No one knows what Smurfs are, but, they were
Blue.
huge.
Oh,
They were,
I would
blue
be concerned.
and
I would be
1
concerned if
female.
my cat yeah.
1 female. All of them were male except 1 female with blonde hair, by the way. You're blue with blonde hair. So that just makes me question reproduction. I mean, does no one else think about this stuff? Because I'd be curious. Maybe not so much now, but anyway.
Well, and then I know I always wanted a Fraggle.
Fraggle Rock. Do, do,
Mhm.
do, do, do,
Made
do,
the
do,
tave
do,
TV
do,
show.
do, do, do. Loved it. Loved it. Moki. Moki. She's my
Red.
favorite one. I like Red too. I like Moki. She was my favorite. That started off though as a show first, right? And then
Yeah,
toys and stuff came out after that.
yeah.
But
But
yeah, I
there's also
loved it.
Thundercats. I named my first cat Snarf.
Well, see, you're that crazy cat lady. You're that crazy. Just promise me don't ever talk to your bowling pins if you go bowling. Just you can be the crazy cat lady all you want. Just don't talk to your bowling ball or your bowling pins when you go bowling because that's just sad.
No, I just do a funny wiggle when I bowl.
My friend, oh my gosh, I love this. I just found this out today. When she bowls, she hops. Oh, I love it. So, people, oh no, here I go off on a tangent again. People are so unique when they bowl. I've started going bowling a lot more recently, more recently, and I love watching people bowl. Tyrion and Mike actually bowl the same way. When they bowl, they when they throw their arm back and hit and throw the ball out, their right foot comes up and swings behind them. And it's so cool. It's the same exact move. Both of them have the same exact move. But everyone is different when they bowl. There's a new technique now. I was watching like these kids, they use both hands to bowl. Yeah, I know. That was my look too. I was like, what are they doing? Apparently this is a new technique. They use both hands to throw the ball down the alley. I mean, and they did it well. It worked. I don't know. I don't I'd be interested in learning how to do it because my
It sounds
bowling
like
sucks right
cheating.
now.
It sounds like cheating.
Sounds like cheating. No, I mean, it's a new technique, and, but, like, this one guy, like, he literally swung his arm completely around, he would bowl, he shot the ball out, and then after the ball left his hand, it swung around behind him literally, like, all the way until it's back down by his side. And I'm like, "This is really" he's like doing, like, this arm propeller thing, like, "What the hell is this?" It's the
No, that
weirdest
just
anyway.
made my shoulder hurt.
I know! Watching him made my shoulder hurt, but it was so unique anyway. So anything Pee-wee's Playhouse was huge back in the '80s, toys, things like that. There's Pee-wee Playhouse toys. Something I never heard of, actually 2 things I never heard, Perplexus? Perplexus? I
This
never
is
heard of
me perplexed.
exactly. I never heard of it. I did not honestly do any research on it because I knew I was gonna be running short on time. But there's also Monchi Chi? Like, there's, like, this, like, monkey stuffed doll that I know, I was like, "I've never heard of this either." Um, but I'll send you pictures uh, for the link. But, there's Fisher-Price record player. There's the Spirograph. Remember Spirograph? You put your
Mhm.
pens and I love those. Stretch Armstrong,
Yep.
and
God,
then
that smelled too.
I know. Yeah, he stank too, and, like, Gumbies too, when we play with Gumby. And then there were 2 toys that were kind of were introduced in the late '80s that, kind of fell over into the '90s, but because they started in the '80s, I wanted to mention them. And they were 2 of my favorites, Precious Places and Polly Pockets.
Yes, I remember Polly
Loved
Pockets.
Polly Pockets. Still remember my very first Polly Pocket. And I have to say, I was very disappointed with how Polly Pocket changed throughout the years, and my brain just died because I wanted to use a bigger, more special word for that, and it just poof. Evolved. Thank you. How she evolved throughout the years. Because out when we were younger, she could fit in our pockets. Her play sets could fit into our pockets. And then as she evolved and it became like the 2000s, she got big. And I'm like, "Okay, why are we calling her Polly Pocket when she literally can't fit into my pocket anymore?"
Maybe because she fits in your pocketbook.
Yeah, no, it was not right. I'm like, "This is Polly Pockets, tiny." But they are bringing the small back again, which made me feel happy. But I have and I still have my collection downstairs in my playroom. I have tons of Polly Pockets, and I love them so much. And, I try to get my kids to like them, but they play with them for a little bit, and then they're like, "Okay, enough." And then, Precious Places was like these beautiful little houses that you could unlock the back of with, like, this humongous key that was metallic or had a magnet excuse me, a magnet on it, and, there were things in each house that were magnetic, that the key could operate, so the things in the house would move or whatever, Each of the figures, each of the people would have a little magnet on the bottom of their feet, so, you could use the magnet underneath the houses and the sidewalks and stuff to move the people. But, the houses lit up, you had to put batteries in the roofs, and it was really, really a really unique set of toys, and I love them so much. And I still have my set of Precious Places somewhere. I just had them recently. Once again, I showed them to my kids, hoping my kids would appreciate toys of the '80s. And I was sadly mistaken because apparently they only care about YouTube. But yeah, I mean, there were so many different toys. I really feel like we lucked out because we had amazing toys. We had amazing opportunities to be able to use our creativity, to use our imaginations, and to just go crazy. And I feel like that's missing with a lot of kids' toys nowadays. I mean, I feel like, the magic of what we had back then is gone. It's either cheap, shoddy replacements, or, you know, the toys are not as well worked, they're just not as interesting. They're just not as creative. They're just not as yeah. And I really feel for the kids nowadays. I do. Feel we lucked
Yeah,
out.
that and all the safety concerns. I mean, now they probably wouldn't even let anybody have a skip it, really, unless you're, like,
Oh, Skip It's
legal to
back.
drive.
Skip It I mean, they do have Skip It nowadays.
I know, but they, like, have a rope. They have a rope thing. They don't have the plastic piece that, like, slices your ankles.
Oh, don't they?
No.
Okay.
I was like, "What's this?"
I couldn't tell you what it was. I mean, actually, I saw someone using one recently, but I couldn't tell you. I mean, I was like, "Oh, it's Skip It." But, yeah, I don't know. We really were lucky, I feel like, to have those magical
We were kind of the last of the analog childhood.
Zennials. Zennials. I do like to call us Zennials. Not quite millennials, not quite, Gen X. We were that micro generation. Um, you know.
Well, I went ahead and I spun the wheel for you.
Yay.
You ready?
See.
You get myth, legends, and lore.
Yay, myth, legends, and lores. Well, okay. Maybe I'll use my Wolfman one then. See, I like Halloween now. I'll think of something. If I don't use him, I'll use something else. But because there's so much more. There's so much I could do.
Yes, yes. And so next week's my turn, which is paranormal.
Could you, enlighten us on that?
I am going to do the Bell Witch.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, a little bit a little bit funny, a little bit dark, kinda like me. And it's something that's very familiar, because I did love American Haunting.
Yeah.
I did love that movie, so yeah. So I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna do the Bell Witch." I did almost wanna do, like, water babies,
Mhm.
seeing as, like, I lived in Idaho, but no, I wanted to do something else. I mean, even though it's a little
I don't know if I know
sad.
what water babies are.
It's something I plan on doing at another time, but it's just, yeah, it's something it's not like it's completely different from melon heads, so that's
I
something
don't know if
totally
I know what
different.
that is either. I'm so clueless sometimes, I really am, some of this
It's
stuff.
okay.
But,
I've
okay.
always been the one who wants to be into the paranormal stuff, so I'm like, once I hear about it, I'm like, "Ooh, rabbit
Researching
hole,"
it.
unless it's aliens.
Oh, that's not interested in that?
No, no. Those are the ones that always scared me when I watched, Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, I remember you saying that you were scared of them. So, like, you wouldn't even research them at all? Like, you wouldn't even
No, not really, like, I'll listen to podcasts about it, but I'm like,
okay.
ugh, skeeved out a bit.
I remember the interesting conversation we had during one of our podcasts about it, but, that and chickens. Chickens.
And turkeys.
Oh god, and turkeys too. You must love Thanksgiving when you can eat them and be thrilled.
But yeah, it's like revenge.
You're messed up. You're messed up.
Yes, but that's why I'm so funny.
Yeah. Alright, well, thank you everybody, for listening to my nostalgic trip down memory lane when it comes to toys of the '80s. If I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I loved researching it. I loved looking back at the toys and the the items and thinking, "Oh my gosh, yes, I love this," or "Oh, I wanted this," or "Oh, I had this." If you're
I'm really excited if you do the '90s
I
because I remember
think I may do the '90s, at some point in time, depending on if anyone wants to reach out and let me know if they have favorite toys in the '90s. I'd love to include them. Let us know if you had favorite toys of the '80s, if you were, old enough like we are to remember that time period.
or if you're from another country and what you guys played with
Yeah, yeah,
when you
very
guys
true.
were kids.
So, yeah, let us know what you think and if you have any favorite toys of the '80s or the '90s. You
Hit
can
us up on our
mention
Facebook.
yeah.
We have Instagram as well, and you can email us your stories as well because we still want to do your stories.
We wanna hear from you, whether
And
it's
then
whether it's, just random stuff or, if you wanna tell us, about experiences you've had or interests, whatever, we wanna hear. We wanna hear it
yep,
all.
yes, and we'll have a thread post up on Facebook. So if you want to comment there, you can comment there. We'll read it. We'll get the notifications. We promise.
Well, thank you so much for joining us again, friends. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a lovely week.
Yes, love you, nerdlings.
Love you guys. Thank you again. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.